So here we are at the conclusion of our Mudathon with the animated series now. Now originally there would have been one more live action episode. Candle had written a script called Deep Mud that would have continued the tale of Mud's escape from the androids and involved pirates and Harry once again in over his head. But Carmel was unable to schedule a time to shoot this. Now according to the story he was shooting some movie, but I checked, he didn't actually release any films during this time frame, so I'm betting this was actually because of his role on the TV series The Mothers-in-Law. Whatever the case, he would wind up being available for a Harry Mudd story for the animated series. It was, like the Tribbles, something they were specifically looking to see to make the leap from the live-action show, and so called Kendall up in order to make that. He decided to go a different way than Deep Mud did, so no pirates, and I just bought this new stuffed parrot too. Anyway, let's get down to the episode. They've come to this world in response to reports that Harry Mudd's here.
Now you are all heavy metal miners.
The gathered miners include bears, neither football players from Chicago nor burly gay men, no, actual bears. Although nothing precludes any member of any group from being part of any of those other groups. It's the 23rd century, man. There are no more lines.
With this magical liquid, no person of the opposite sex can resist you.
Harry, I hate to nitpick, but that's not liquid. You can tell because no one has ever been in danger of cutting themselves on the sharp edges of water. Harry insists that no matter how ugly, smelly, or unpleasant you are, the effect is irresistible. And to prove it, he shows a woman willing to fawn over him. Harry will happily sacrifice his dignity if it means he gets your money.
How much?
300 credits, or the...
300?
Or you can read between the lines, Bob the Builder. He spots Kirk and Spock.
Gentlemen, interested in purchasing a little love?
We're interested in you, Harry.
My, see how well it works? Even Kirk can't resist me. They're here to arrest Mudd, naturally, but Federation law doesn't apply here. So to prove he's lying, Spock shoots Mudd's girlfriend.
The so-called girl is a Regillian hypnoid.
The miners are upset, so upset that one picks up a rock and turns it into a ray gun thanks to the power of bad editing. They then begin stoning Harry over this, either for attempted swindling or they're convinced that he committed adultery with that hypnotoad. Harry turns himself in, so Spock quickly sets Phaser on highly unlikely Trench. Yep, it's really less of a ray gun and more of a magic wand. Oh, Phaser, reveal the truth behind this illusion. By the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, create a protective pit. Alakazam, let there be a boring movie where I get to wear the kind of makeup normally only seen by a bad fortune teller. So Harry has volunteered to be arrested rather than being stoned to death, and naturally Kirk wants to know how he got here. Well, Harry managed to steal a ship and get away from the androids, getting some startup capital then by selling Starfleet Academy to some aliens. Hey, anyone who thinks that buying a military academy is a good idea is either extremely confused or planning to raise their own army. Either way, Harry did the universe a favor parting them from their money. Well, on the way, he acquired the love potion crystals, drug things, and eventually wound up here getting stoned in a way that didn't involve drugs. Nurse Chapel praises Spock's cleverness in catching Mudd like this, but Spock brushes it off and even offers a slight rebuke, all of which Harry notes, and as we know, he's always listening for an angle to exploit.
Now, you, nurse, you have a wonderful gift.
That big booty. He tempts her with a crystal that he still has on him. And nothing to be ashamed of with that, though. I'm sure Kirk could have given Mudd a cavity search, and he'd still be sitting in that cell with a fake ID card, a set of lockpicks, an ounce of pot, and Kirk's wallet. While he's trying to convince her that it's genuine, up on the bridge they discover a Class M planet in a binary star system. Very unusual, so Kirk plans to do some of that exploring. And that usually leads to him getting to punch people and bone alien women, so the more we do that, the better. But yeah, Mudd explains.
It's really so simple, my dear. You rub the liquid on yourself.
Or else it gets the hose again.
Mudd, that is totally absurd.
No, it is infallible. One touch evokes friendship between men or women. But between woman and man, love.
Well, Harry is probably being general here, just meaning that if you have the inclination for romantic love in that general direction, then it's going to become that. If not, just a great friendship. It's not going to turn you straight if you're gay or vice versa, just within your own inclinations. It's like the Turk JD thing on Scrubs. If it's not a romance, it's at the very least going to be a bromance. Anyway, Chapel finds the idea ridiculous, but is finally persuaded to try it in the name of science. Science obviously being the name for her vagina. She busts a crystal open and tries it out, getting woozy, allowing Mud to grab her phaser and her badge while steadying her on her feet. The moment she's gone, he replaces her picture on the ID with a picture of himself, though I'm still not thinking even the red shirts are going to buy that he's a member of the crew. No, scratch that. They are dumb enough to fall for that. These are the guys who fall for a plan of Harry's they overhear him making. Meanwhile, Chapel is making her big move in the most subtle way that she knows.
Oh, sorry, sir.
She's been throwing herself at him for so long now she's doing it literally. This fails to have any effect, so she storms off in a huff, ready to read Harry the riot act. But as we know, he's already gone, down in the shuttle bay preparing to make his getaway. But Spock's more interested in the medical summary for the report now.
And appended here, too, is a medical summary by Nurse Christine Chapel. Nurse Chapel's sweet summary.
And by summary, he too means vagina.
Doctor, I wish to report a number of very strange, emotions.
Do you have to use the bathroom? You can go use the bathroom if you need to, Spock. Meanwhile, Chapel caught up with Harry and karate chopped him, taking back the phaser. She is obviously peeved, so he offers her more crystals. He has a whole bunch. But she responds by trying to shoot him. She misses, but the crystals fall, shatter, and the liquid blows into the air ducts. Unaware of that, Harry overpowers Chapel and takes her as a temporary hostage while he makes his getaway. Hopefully all the way away this time.
She's in danger. My love.
Nobody asked you, Kuzco. Spock insists on joining the rescue mission for her, so Kirk agrees provided that he comes along. The rest of the crew is asking themselves, to quote the words of Voltaire, what in the actual fuck? As they're ready to go, Bones stops by.
Jim, the search party found this in the shuttlecraft bay.
Those kids have been playing Dungeons and Dragons in there again, Jim. Kirk brushes it off, though. If Harry has them, they don't work. Little does he know that up on the bridge, Scotty is starting to make the moves on the cat girl. Like I said, 23rd century, there are no more lines now. And if you're watching a cat video on YouTube now, odds are it's porn. Mud's landed on the planet, planning to ditch Chapel and the shuttle and escape some other way, unaware that he seems to have parked the shuttle next to a rock monster the size of an aircraft carrier. Luckily, Spock and Kirk have arrived before it wakes up and makes with the rampaging. Oh, you know it's going to rampage.
Thanks, Jim. It's good to have a friend like you.
Strange, that's the way I feel about you, too. My dear friend Spock. Come, let's go get Mud and Christine.
Let's frolic the way there, my friend. Frolic and dance. Well, that'll have to wait. The rock monster smashes the shuttle, and shooting it just seems to make it mad, waking up a second rock monster who's got an early morning tomorrow and doesn't need this shit right now. Kirk leaps to the rescue.
Transporter room, emergency beam up now. They're not responding.
All right, gonna need a plan B. As they hide, the drug is starting to affect Kirk's feelings towards Chapel, too, much to the shock of Mud, who was certain the stuff was a phony. But that won't matter. We need a new plan.
Maybe we can distract them.
That is an outstandingly stupid idea.
All right, I'm putting you down as a maybe. Anyone else? Back on the ship, there's trouble in paradise.
Oh, I've got a hangover to shame all previous hangovers. And I did not touch a drop of scotch.
That catnip is crazy. I didn't know how you handle it. While Scotty is thinking about getting a hair of the cat that bit him, Kirk thwarts the rock monsters using the last of the crystals on one of them so that it is compelled to protect him from the other, buying time for them to get away. Of course, the effects on Harry Mudd himself means that he's delighted to confess all of his misdeeds for the record, and likely get put away for a very long time. And everyone affected is bitching at each other after it passes, a rather unpleasant side effect of the love potion. But for now, we'll let Harry lead us out with the kind of thing a serial killer would say.
I just hate to leave you all my loved ones.
Post-episode follow-up. Annoying character goes to Hard Hat McGee. We don't truck with witchcraft round here, pal. All scores are relative to the series. Final score for Mudd's Passion is 8 out of 10. While it's not the character at his best, it's still great to see him in action again, still as cunning and resourceful as ever. And the way the crew handles the effects of the love potion leads to one great moment after the next. Scotty and Catgirl, Lieutenant Llama playing some kind of space loot, McCoy boasting to some female crew member, oh yeah, Bones is a playa. And Kirk and Spock's intense camaraderie probably made a lot of slash-fic writers swoon. Unlike Atlantis' episode Irresistible from last month, this episode avoids the same pitfalls by, first, removing the sexual boasting, and second, by making it so that no one is doing anything intentionally. Even Harry thinks these things don't actually work. Nurse Chapel is the only exception, but even that is conveyed as if she's more curious about whether these crystals do anything, rather than trying to force Spock to love her. And of course it backfires when it winds up making her love Spock, and then despise him in the wake of the drug. It's not the best exit for Mudd from the franchise, but it's still a memorable outing.
All hail the Overlord! All hail the Overlord!
Did I ever tell you about the time I saved Captain Kirk's life? Or Spock's? And that pretty little Lieutenant Uhura. I've saved just about everybody on this here ship. If the Enterprise had a heart, I'd save her too.